什么？为什么呢？ I have to look at you. There's something coming up and looking at me. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. I just came in and I'm speaking of Foo Chu. Fu, I think, probably is derivative of fo, which means God. Chu means ni yao yao chu nali. Chu, to go. So that's a path. So I think Fu Chu is gotta be God's path. And so we're gonna play the game. Play the game, Harding. Play the game. I know nobody knows this stuff anymore. That's from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Taking control of the situation. We're about to take control of the situation here. Fu Chu, God's way, God's path. It's so confusing because it might mean something different in Cantonese. I don't know the Chinese word for Cantonese. I know the Chinese word for Mandarin. 因为我会说一点点普通话 because I can speak a little bit of Chinese, mainland China, you know. And so, if you're going to run into trouble defining the meaning of words, it's understandable that here in these United States, we can have questions with each other. Look, if you consider it, there is a manual. And you know what? I'm going to show you how you play this game with Fu Chu and the fortune reading. But I'm going to tell you right now. There is one bamboo stick in there already that is the one that is for me. But you're supposed to hold it and you just shake out one stick. And as you shake out that one stick, it takes some skill to get just one to fall. That's the one you read. And I got two. But there's one that's showing its face. And it helps you learn your numbers. Is that a 5? You get one of these sticks and you take out. This is not the one that is for me. This one that was already in it, I'd already chosen. But then you open the book and you're supposed to be able to learn how to read Chinese through the numbers. I know the numbers. San Sir Wu Liu Chi Ba Jo Shi 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 San Shi Sir Shi Wu Shi Liu Shi Chi Shi Ba Shi Jo Shi. And you go on and on and on. San Shi Sir Shi Wu Shi. But learning to read these things is different. Huh. I'm going to read you a fake one just so you understand that you can't trust everything that's given to you, no matter what the time frame. Your fortune today shows up as 4. Good luck and bad are at your door. Ahead of you lie years of bliss, but not unmixed with gall. Ill fortune may beset your path, and drinking cause your fall. I'll drink to that. Look for a windfall of wealth and joy. Answer to your wish. I'm supposed to make a wish, but I never do. Your wish will come true. I always feel like if I had a wish, it's something that I could do on my own if I put enough effort into it. Okay, so that's about what that amounts to. It's Foo Chu. It gives you spiritual readings and such, as much as you don't want to believe them. $20. I guess this is mine. Your fortune. He who picks the 20 stick will gather up a fortune quick. For you, Foo Chu foresees much luck in business and in love. But trust not to your luck alone. Fate sometimes needs a shove. You gotta push it real good. Answer to your wish. Oh, let me not forget. Be wary of a message in the night. Who's gonna call me? And what will it be? Answer to your wish. Your wish will be granted after you have forgotten it. Sometimes we give up on notions, and sometimes notions do not give up on us. You must wonder, what the hell's he talking about? It's the idea of being in China. It's the idea of knowing that sometimes people can just disappear. It's about being on a train going across the country, the Golden Zephyr. And meeting somebody that will give you his limited edition Bruce Lee Jeet Kune Do book and talk to you about how he almost disappeared. It's about sometimes understanding that I suppose it's in the realm of the government, and it applies to their honorable validity as to how they just make people disappear. I was in China. I was in a rock and roll band called Smoking Ghost. And after we headlined the show, our biggest show yet, the next day, the Chinese government was there saying, you need to shut this the fuck down. And I recognized how valuable that was, because if you're going to look at it one way or the other, how would you want it? Would you want people to accept that there's a truth in getting rid of you by lying about you? Would you want to live someplace where they just act like it didn't happen? Or would you rather be someplace where they said, yeah, motherfucker, this is why you're disappearing? And the rest of the country can say, okay, at least there are some standards here. We're not just kicking people out and putting them in a fucking camp somewhere. I finally, just now, found the stick was mine, because I held it away to be sure that I had the right one. This is number 2. Oh, I do need to read this before I move on, because I have something to talk about. Here in the Foo Chu book, number 2, it makes it sound like everything's so clean and right. But every once in a while you get one that says, you fucked up. I get the feeling this is going to be one of those. Number 2. There's 13. There's 5. There's 2. Your fortune. Your fate this day appears as 2, and it does not bode too well for you. Dark and clouded is your fortune as fate prepares its snare. Jewels or money will soon be lost to prowlers from lack of care. Sounds like they're talking about the results of the economy crashing. You will play, but you must then pay the piper. Answer to your wish will be denied. Pretty good, huh? You've been ignoring me the whole time. I told you. There's some of these things that just aren't so good. Foo Chu for you. The only reason I bring up China is because when I was first going to China, maybe the second time, I had a radio listener named Leah Paradiso, and she was a radio listener who became a friend of mine. When she found I was going to China, She said, please get a picture of you standing. It was the first time. She said, get a picture of you standing on the Great Wall. And I said, I don't know if I'm going to be there. And I didn't. But the second time I went, I was learning Chinese much better at the time. And it was at the end of 18 months of me being there altogether. And I was on 2-week vacation, and I took a trip into Mongolia, Inner Mongolia, Nemangu. I went to Nemangu, and I went on my own on trains, and there were dilemmas. Yo shi ho wo yo jing tui liang nan. Sometimes I have dilemmas. And she just had asked me to get a picture of me on the Great Wall. And, well, it didn't happen as she expected it. I went into, not Baotou, I can't remember the town I went into. I just wanted to ride a horse across the plains, you know, like any good Mongolian would do. And I ran into a man while I was there. He was from Ireland, and we became friendly, but never friends. He was very morose. He had, within days of me meeting him, seen 2 Buddhist monks died, and he couldn't get over it. He's like, he was upset, trying to express to me how sad he was that it was so strange for somebody to see a foreigner, that they would die. And these 2 Buddhist monks on motorcycles, because I've been 3 on a motorcycle. I've watched people in China riding down the road with a door standing up on the back of the motorcycle. I've seen families of 5 on them. You act like it's special to see, oh, China 5 on a motorcycle. You act like that's special. It's just daily life, mother of mine. I met this guy. He saw 2 Buddhist monks, and they were riding on a motorcycle. And the last thing he knows of their lives is that they were looking at him. And they slammed into a truck that was stopped. It came to an abrupt stop in front of them, and they crashed into it and were dead and mutilated. And he's like, he's having a bad day. I'm like, oh, Irish friend of mine, I forgot my goddamn camera as we walked down the Silk Road. We were on the Silk Road to go to Jiayuguan, the place of exile. I didn't know that till we got there. And I said, there's a girl who wants her. I forgot my camera. Can you take a picture? And he's like, I'll take a picture. So he took a camera picture, and he never sent it to me. And so I don't have the picture. But some years later, I went back to work for a guy that I was working construction with, Randy Archie. And it was in the time about 2007, 2008, when the economy was crashing and the factories were closing in Gaylord, and everybody decided they were construction workers, and we weren't building houses anymore. We were just cleaning up messes that the guys from the factories had done that decided they were fucking carpenters. So at one point, Randy says, yeah, well, I'll pay you to help me clean up around the house. And we were in his barn and we came to a box of books and it was a bunch of National Geographics. And he said, these are from my parents. He said, anybody wants anything, you can take it. And I reached and I dug one out, the first one, and there it was. And this is from 1980. March of 1980, I saw this guy on the front of the cover. When I pulled it out of the box and I looked, I said, oh my gosh, this is going to be good. And I just opened it to nothing. And there is that place at the end or the beginning of the Great Wall, as you might want to see it. She wanted to see me standing on the Great Wall, Beijing, but this is Jiayuguan. This is a place I went very far, and there are many more stories that I could tell you that I won't, because it's something you should get out of the book. You shouldn't be so quick to judge. You should understand what it is that leads up to this. And this is the place all over China. I found out later after I made the trip that you are not a great man until you make it to Jiayuguan. The Great March, the Great Walk. Stephen King writes about it with that Garrity kid. There is a place where they said, if you go there, you're a great man. And I think it was just propaganda to keep people marching. But this is the place out at the edge of the Gobi Desert. And out there, as we were walking back, there was a katydid, a little cricket type of thing, but it was big, the size of a small hamster, smaller. And it walked up and I looked at it and I said, well, look at that. And it was just, and I tried to put my finger against it and it didn't back off. It just wanted to attack. And I said, oh my God, that's weird. And then as time, seconds went by, not even moments, this goddamn thing was with a bunch of others and we were surrounded, these katydid things. And I said, we got to get out of here. And we got the fuck out of there. And I read a few years ago, a couple, that there are these things, they'll clean you to the bone. We were surrounded, and I know when I'm in trouble, I know when to run. But there it was, right outside of the Gobi. And this is Jiayuguan, where you walk to if you're a great man. I walked to that place. I may have taken trains to get close enough, but by happenstance, I walked to Jiayuguan down the Silk Road where they exile fucking people. And that girl that wanted me to get a picture on the Great Wall, look at it. It's just crumbling at that point. It's not crumbling, it's the beginning. It's clay. I stood upon that Irishman that saw the Buddhist fucking die for his visage never sent me the picture of me standing up on top of the Great Wall. But I did get a picture of me in a hole once, and I cut it out. I found this picture out of nowhere, and I put myself up on it, tearing the roof off the temple where they exile you into the Gobi and you can't see. That's stuck on there with toothpaste. Down here I had another thing stuck with toothpaste that was a Pabst Blue Ribbon down there. That's what he's looking at, and he wants more. What are the odds in the time of throwing everything out that we find something that means something to us? Don't think of odds. Think of the word decimation. Every time you hear somebody say they're going to decimate something, it doesn't mean tenths. It doesn't mean hundredths. It means just a decimal point. They could only be getting rid of 0.0000001% of something, and it decimates something. Bring it down with a decimal. How about we bring the idea of disappearing and understanding the difference between them to a decimal?